Our second to last speaker comes with rave reviews the world over, and especially from our convention in November. Many of you will remember Heather Monahan and her conversations about confidence. It was so powerful. And today, Heather does it again, and she shares with us how to master your beliefs and how to level up in 2022. So let's welcome Heather to the virtual stage by giving her a warm round of virtual applause.
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Heather Monahan, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. For those of you who do know me, I'm so excited to be back with you. It was great being with you in November at your annual convention in Orlando, where we set some big goals. I know we've got a lot of directors in the making out there right now. I hope you've got your goals written down from our last meeting and are building out that plan and taking massive action to go for it for 2022. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about mastering our beliefs to get to that next level. And we are getting started off on the right foot. I heard about the performance bundle that David put together for you for 2022 to kick things off right. This discount and deal gives you a reason, an obligation to reach back out to people who have told you no in the past, to reach out to your existing team, your existing clientele, customers, and potential customers, and to just go bigger now. Who doesn't want to enter 2022 feeling more energized, having less inflammation, and even losing some weight? I don't know about you, but I definitely lost my energy, lost my mojo, and gained weight during the global pandemic. So let's get 2022 started off on that right foot. This performance bundle is the reason to reach out and help people now. The world needs you. 2022 needs you. And yes, I'm packing my patches, got them on right now, working towards that same goal of health, personal health for myself in 2022. So thank you so much for being here. Okay, so I wanted to start off a little bit around mindset and beliefs. And I want to teach you a simple hack that I learned, and I've got a great story to share with you around it. The brain cannot comprehend negativity. It can't be told not to do something. It literally doesn't process. It reinforces whatever statement has been made. Sounds a little weird, a little convoluted. Let me give you an example. Ready? Don't think of a snake right now. We all thought of a snake as soon as I said that. Whenever we're telling someone don't do something, whenever we're amplifying the negative, we're only reinforcing what we're telling people not to do. So when we work with our customers, we work with our teams, we're not saying don't do this. We need to be talking about what we want people to do. A good example would be your child is sitting, eating on the couch. We don't say, don't eat on the couch. Sure, we've all done that. I certainly have. And what we end up finding is they're sitting on the couch eating again. We're reinforcing that belief. We're supposed to say, sweetheart, I'd appreciate it if you would eat at the table. And then when they eat at the table, praise them for that, right? When we use negativity and don't words, we're reinforcing whatever comes after it. Okay, so let me give you an example of that in my own life that I just went through last year with my son. Like many of you who are parents, I know we have a lot of parents here at LifeWave, we had some difficult times with virtual school. My son's grades took a nosedive, and it ended up that he had to go to an academic camp in the summer. Sending a 14-year-old boy to academic sleepaway camp in New Hampshire when he's used to living in Miami and playing basketball was not an easy task. Well, I'll never forget the day that came where he was packing to go away to camp. The longest he was going to be leaving home for was 4 or 5 weeks. And he has this one suitcase out. And he's so angry, and his face has a grimace on it. And he says, well, I can't go. I can't fit the stuff in the bag. Look, Mom, you can only bring one bag and my things don't fit. There's no room. It's not going to fit. I have 2 more pairs of sneakers that I need in order to make the trip. It's not going to work. He kept saying negative reinforcement after negative reinforcement after negative reinforcement over and over again. And I'm sure many of you have had that experience with your child. And if we keep it real with ourselves too, oftentimes we are the ones saying, I can't do this. It's not going to work. What we don't know is we're reinforcing that as a reality to our brain, as a belief. to our brain. So I walked into the room. I saw the struggle. The struggle was real. I took a step back and I looked at that bag and I thought of this. We've all seen those Olympic skiers, right? They come on that downward slalom, not a skier, but that really high mountain, and it's curvy and curvy and curvy, and they're in between trees, and they keep pivoting and pivoting and going faster and faster and faster to win, right? We've all seen that in the Olympics. I have no idea how they do it, but I know how they don't do it. When they're up at the top and they're ready to take off, and it's the Olympics and the biggest day of their life, and they've been training forever, their coach doesn't lean over and say, "Don't hit a tree." The coach doesn't give them negative enforcement, because then if they said, "Don't hit a tree," all they would do is look for trees. Instead, they say, "Follow the path, follow the snow, stay on the white." Whatever we focus our mind on is what we will do and what will become. So I thought about the skiers. I thought about focus on the path, not focus on the trees. And I looked at the bag. I looked at my son, and my son was focused on the trees. And I thought, focus on the path, focus on what the opportunity or potential is, not what it's not. And I stood for a moment and I watched him, and I watched the bag. I looked at the sneakers. I thought about the snow. And it came to me. I said, "Dylan, guess what we missed?" And he said, "What, Mom? It doesn't work? That's what we missed." And I said, "No, look at the zipper on the top of the suitcase." And he said, "So what? It doesn't matter, Mom. It doesn't work." I said, "Unzip that zipper." And as he started unzipping that top zipper, the bag size doubled. He just hadn't seen it because he was so focused on it not working. His brain was ensuring that it wouldn't work. That's not what I want for you. I want you to be able to step back and focus on the snow. Focus on what is possible and drop the negativity. As we drop the negative words, the don't, the I can't, we begin to focus on what can be. So I challenge you this year, kicking this amazing year off. 2022 is going to be your biggest and best year yet. You've got the bundle to go forward with. And I want you to drop the no's, the I can't, because you're literally forcing your brain to focus on and reinforce that negative message that you're sending. None of us want that. So as we start to focus on what is possible, we will put more energy into that possibility. We put it out there. We start envisioning. We start writing down these goals of what can be. And suddenly our brain starts focusing on how can they figure that out? How can we make this happen? The possibilities are endless. There's not just one path or way to success. There's so many that we haven't thought about yet that will come to us this year. What's possible is always changing. What's possible for you is always changing and growing. And keep that in mind as we focus on the possibilities for more for you. So we got my son packed up for that camp, and he was happy he got everything in the bag, happy he got the sneakers in, sad to leave. He jumped on the plane and headed to New Hampshire. Well, I was really proud of him for going. He had the conviction that he did not want to do his last year of school over again. So this was the best possible solution to get him to leapfrog over and back into school where he should be. Until the day I got a phone call from camp. "Your son is in the emergency room." What happened? He was playing basketball and we believe he's broken his arm. He's at the ER right now. They didn't get to have their cell phones at this camp. So I had to wait for my son to get back from camp to call me. He called very sad. I, of course, was worse than he was, thinking the worst case scenario, crying and crying, so worried about him. After we hung up, I got my stuff together. I got on the phone with the airlines. I got a flight out, and it wasn't for 2 days. I had to take care of business and whatnot. But 2 days later, I flew to New Hampshire. In my mind, I had decided my son's coming home. He's not going to be able to finish academic camp. It's too bad because I really didn't want him to have to repeat the year again. But there's nothing we can do. He has a broken arm, and it's his left arm. He's left-handed. He's by himself living in a tent outside. He can't take notes. He can't write. How's he going to change? It's not going to work. I'm going to have to bring him home. I flew to New Hampshire. Well, you fly to Boston, then you get a rental car, and then you drive to New Hampshire. And I finally got to the camp. And as I pulled in exhausted, I had anticipated seeing my son walk out, bag in the right hand, broken arm in the left. Instead, he walked out with nothing. And I said, honey, aren't you ready to go? And he said, I'm not going. And he said, let's get in the car and go to dinner. And so we went to dinner, and he explained this to me. He said, Mom, I didn't come this far to come this far. I'm not repeating this year. I'm figuring out a way to make this situation work. Let me tell you what I did. I taught myself how to write with my right hand. I taught myself how to eat with my right hand. I taught myself how to change with one arm. I taught myself how to shower with a garbage bag on my broken arm. Mom, I'm teaching myself a way out of this situation. I'm going to go through with this. That's my commitment. And in that moment, I realized he wasn't focused on the trees. He was focused on the snow. He wasn't coming up with his excuses why he couldn't. He had chosen to believe that he could, even more so than I had believed. I hadn't felt so proud of my son in a very, very long time, but I can't forget that example that he gave me. Focus on what can be. Stay committed to your goal and let nothing get in your way. I had a similar situation, not exactly the same, back in 2019. When I first got into professional speaking, everyone said you have to check certain boxes. And I have my moments like you do, I'm sure, where I listen to the noise, I let other people tell me, oh, you should do this, you should do this. So I want to check some boxes so I could feel a little bit more confident and credible in myself. Well, I decided to apply for TEDx talks. I applied for over 100. I took out a Google alert on TEDx speakers wanted. I didn't land any of them. And then finally, one day I was giving a speech somewhere and a woman came up to me and said, you should do a TEDx talk. I said, I can't land one. She said, tell me how you're pitching it. I told her, and she said, you're taking the wrong approach. Make it about them. Make it about how you can add value to them. Basically, she was saying sales 101, put yourself in their shoes, see how you can add value, benefit them, do your research and homework, go the extra mile. So I did that. I researched the volunteers that were heading up TEDx Boca Raton. I found them on social media. I sent them DMs. I told them I would sell out their arena. I would be the additional volunteer on their team. I would do whatever it takes. I'd be at every VIP and sponsor event, but I'd do whatever they needed of me above and beyond the speaking. And I landed my first TEDx talk. Now, you may think, oh, great, Heather, no big deal. A TEDx talk is not like a regular talk. Not like today, I'm coming at you live from my house. Can you tell? There I am. A little bit of book marketing behind you. Okay. But I was going to be stuck in this little red circle. I'd be told how long I could speak for. I'd be told what topic I could speak on. There's a lot of restrictions, and I'm not used to operating in really restricted environments. And frankly, I don't do my best when I am. So I was nervous. I was going in a little bit nervous, but staying focused on that specific goal that I was going to deliver a 10-minute talk in a little tiny red circle, and I was going to kill it. It lives online forever. I had a lot of pressure on myself, but I put the work in. And anytime we have big goals, no matter what they are, we're going to have to put the work in. But we're also going to have to believe it's possible for us. So as we talked about back in Orlando, I started visualizing myself on that stage. If your mind has gone there, your body will follow. This is fact and science. Please trust me on this one. Every night for months, I'd sit and watch my favorite TED Talks, my favorite TEDx Talks. And I would sit there and envision myself being on that stage. I would envision myself walking out there. I would envision the crowd cheering and going wild. I saw it happening so that I knew my body would actually go there the day that my time came. I put powerful moments from my speech all over my apartment in writing, because when you write things down, you make it real and tangible. Write your goals down. I wrote them down all over my apartment so I would see them often, because frequency sells. The messaging we see often, we remember. So think about what messages you're seeing on a daily basis and make sure they're around beliefs and your goals and what is possible for you, what feeds you and lifts you up. Reminders are very, very powerful. I had my reminders everywhere. I put the work in. I practiced more than ever. I spoke to experts in the field, people who had been where I wanted to go. I was taking direction from the right people, doing the work, pumping myself up. And another great hack for you as we go to the next level, anytime we want to go for more, anytime we want to stretch ourselves, we want to run with people that are ahead of us. And I was doing that. I had tapped my friend Amy Morin, who has 30 million views on her TEDx talk, and she was coaching me through it. She was talking me through it and encouraging me. But another thing that I can do myself that you can do for yourself is anytime you have something big, you can access the information from Pavlov's law. Yes, I was a psychology student when I was in college. And one of the studies that we followed and really dove into around the brain and how the mind works is a study that happened in a lab with a dog and dog food. Sounds really basic, not very exciting, but I promise you it's going to be helpful. The scientists would ring a bell, simple bell, just a sound. The dog would come and they would put the food out on the floor for the dog. The next day, they would ring the bell, dog would come, put the food out for the dog. Suddenly, they would ring the bell and not put the food out and test the dog. And the dog was salivating. The dog was responding to the bell as if he knew in his mind's eye that food would be there, and his body was responding without the food being there. This is mind-blowing. Let me take it back to you. This is how I use this and leverage this information, and I hope you do the same. I have a playlist that is the playlist of my life. It is my go-to anthem anytime I'm going to do something big. It's my bell that the scientist rings, right? So here's what I mean by that. If I'm doing something big, I'm taking a big stage right as I'm about to get there. And only then do I listen to this powerful, amazing playlist. I do that because I'm leveraging the science from Pavlov's law. I'm training my brain through consistency and repetition that when I hear that playlist, it's go time. And all I see is what's possible. All I see is success. And all I see is myself going to the next level. The more I do this, the more I leverage the science, the more prepped, the stronger I am, and the more capable I am to see that belief coming to fruition. This works. This hack works. I use it all the time, every time I'm doing something big. The more you use it, the more your brain's saying, oh, remember that last stage you took. Remember this. This is all further proof that what you're about to take on is going to happen. So anytime I was going out to walk the venue because I want to see where I'm going to be, anytime you can see and touch things, that helps your brain make it more real. I was driving out to the venue. I started playing my playlist and getting really powerful and fired up. I stepped up on that stage. I took pictures of myself there. I made it real. So when I went back home, I could see myself truly on the stage as well as visualize myself there. I wrote on the bottom of my shoes, I can and I will. I leave positive messaging everywhere of what's possible for me. Because sometimes, in some moments, I get a little nervous and I forget. So be that cheerleader that's there to pick yourself up. Leave yourself reminders. I also had my lavender with me, which I always have when I'm doing something big. And it can be that you're going to a meeting with your team. It can be that you're going to a meeting with a new client. It doesn't have to be your TED Talk. Set yourself up for success and what is possible by leveraging these hacks and the science. They truly, truly work. And they're going to be part of your plan to get yourself to the next level in 2022, which you've already built so much momentum from coming off a year like 2021. Can you say huge growth? And I know it can feel scary when you have to grow beyond major growth the year before. But I say it's momentum. You've built momentum since last year, and this is the year you're ready to take off. So I'll never forget the day of my TEDx talk. I drove out early in the morning. I didn't have makeup on. My hair was wet. I had eye patches on. I wasn't in my routine that I go through in the process I go through when I'm about to take a big stage and do something big. I was there for a walkthrough, I thought. I got in the venue. Everyone was there. And the head of the event said, Heather, you're going to be our first speaker today. Okay, great. I can't wait. Can I leave now and go get ready? No, Heather, we need you to do a walkthrough. Hop up on stage. All the speakers were there. I hadn't listened to my playlist. I didn't have my shoes on with I can, I will. I haven't smelled my lavender. I haven't done my routine. I started getting really nervous. I froze. I didn't remember any of those big moments that I had around my apartment. I'd never frozen for a talk in my life and never have since. Something happened that moment and I just choked. Everyone thought I was kidding. They started laughing and I jumped off the stage. But one woman was standing there and she said, the only time I've ever seen somebody choke like that was a friend of mine who got in the game, an NFL game as a punter once. And when he went to kick the ball, he missed it and he never played again. That was not helpful. And as I talk about a lot, we've got to overcome our villains or they will overcome us. I let that woman know she was not helpful and that I was leaving. I removed myself from that venue. I went to the hotel where my dearest friends were waiting for me, encouraging me, reminding me of the big stages that I had taken, cheering me on. I hit that playlist. I got my hair done. I got my makeup done. I put on my I can, I will shoes. I leveraged Pavlov's law. I activated my routine. And then I jumped in the car and I headed back to that venue. I put my AirPods in and I shut out and tuned out the noise from others talking about, did you hear Heather choke this morning? And people will say that for you too. They'll remind you of the things that you haven't succeeded at. Please put those AirPods in, listen to that playlist of your life and focus on that snow. Focus on what is possible for you. I was backstage smelling lavender like crazy, sweating. My feet were sweating. I was so nervous. And they were about to call my name. And then suddenly I heard it, Heather Monahan. I closed my eyes and I said to myself, if I don't walk out there right now, I will never forgive myself. If I go out there and blow it, I'm going to be so proud of you. And I don't remember anything else for the next 60 seconds, but somehow through the hard work and discipline and the routines that I had implemented, something within me pushed me out onto that red dot and got me started. You'll see 60 seconds into my TEDx talk, I kind of come to. The rest of the world doesn't notice it, of course, but you will now that you know. I shared a story with you because I want you to know what's possible when you believe. I lowered the expectations on me. I believed I could. I focused on the snow. And yes, I did the work. We're all going to face adversity. We're all going to face challenges the next time we try to go to that next level. But that fear that we feel, it's not real. That fear that we feel is a green light that means go and grow. And the more uncomfortable we are, the more we're entering a growth phase. And we were put on this earth to grow, to change, to evolve, and to make this world a better place. And by being a part of LifeWave, you are changing people's lives. People are buying that hope from you, that hope for a better 2022. And as you share with them what is possible and you share the stories that you've heard, you're giving them hope. So I hope you push yourself to grow. I hope you push yourself into those uncertain situations. Because when you do, you will create what is possible. And that belief within you will ring true. We'll tune out the noise around us this year and we'll tune into the one voice that matters, your own. I want to share a few different sales tips with you and a few different social media tips to kind of help you leapfrog others around you. Okay, so here we go. When I think sales tips, some of the things that I think are important are things I experience in my own life. And I want you to think of when you're in a situation, you say, wow, that resonated with me. Here's one that resonated with me recently. I hope you can see this. I am big into spinning and I go to SoulCycle. Do I have any other spinners out there? Okay. So I went to a spin class the other day. And as I got to my bike, there was this card recognizing me saying 250 rides. Congratulations. We love seeing you here. You hit your mark. I had no idea how many classes in I was. I didn't know I had hit 250 rides, but they did. They saw me. In a world of technology and AI where you can't get a normal human being on a phone if you call a company, my spin class saw me. I felt like I was a part of something. I felt special. And I even teared up. Are you seeing your team members? Are you recognizing where they are in their journeys? How about your customers? Are you noticing how far along they are? You've been on our patches for 1 year. I know your inflammation has gotten so much better. I just wanted to call you, reach out to you today, say, I see you. I'm proud of you. You've come so far in 1 year. Keep up the great work. One of the ways we can separate ourselves is having a personal touch with people. I saw this the other day as well. I don't know how many of you got into Instacart, but in the pandemic, I was Instacart, ride or die. That was it, right? Instacart is a system that brings your groceries to your home for you. So anytime that I'm really panicked and afraid that my son's going to get home, there's no food in the house, I call Instacart. So I've had many occasions where I've dealt with Instacart deliveries. And every single time after they deliver, they send a note. Please leave a 5-star rate and review. I never do because I don't even know how to do it. I'm in the app and I'm usually super busy. That's why I called them in the first place. Until a recent Instacart delivery happened. The driver was communicating, hey, just wanted to check, are you good with this? Sending pictures of products. Is this the one that you wanted? Over delivering above and beyond my expectations for him. Hey, Heather, I'm leaving now. Be at your house soon. Heather, let me know if you want me to leave it outside or bring it into your home. Let me know if you're happy with this. This is how I feed my family. He gave me his why. It would mean the world to me if you let me know how my service was for you today. He didn't ask for the review and recommendation yet. As I started unpacking the groceries, I found this. Smile, Heather. Happy Monday. Alex, your Instacart shopper. And then I found this. No, I'm not going to eat these little treats, but it was a different way for him to separate himself from all of these other Instacart drivers and deliveries that I've had in the past. I've become his champion. Anytime I think of Instacart, I think, how you need to get Alex. He's the best Instacart shopper in the world. He puts a smile on your face. He cares. How can you turn your customers into your raving fans? How can you separate yourself from the other vendors or people they buy products and services from? Show up like Alex. When you differentiate yourself, when you care, when you go the extra mile above and beyond, people see you. Because so often in our world today, everything is coming through an automated message. It isn't that hard to separate ourselves. Turning your customers into your raving fans will take you to the next level in 2022. Challenge yourself to do it. Okay, social media hacks. I've got a few for you. All right, so number one, consistency is king. I started my personal brand on LinkedIn 5 years ago now. So 5 years ago was the right time. Today is the only time. I want you to promise me you're going to get on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a white space for your business. I never see people pushing products. I see people pushing services and selling services. There is one woman that I've noticed on LinkedIn. Now, this is called a white space when it's not competitive, right? So there's one woman I've seen on LinkedIn who's got a really strong following. She's with Isogenics. She has people commenting, go find this woman. I call these people competitors. They might not sell the same exact product that you're selling, but she's selling to people that want to become healthy. They want to lose weight. These are people that need to know about the performance bundle, and they need to know now why there's a deal. So you want to respond to the people messaging on hers. You want to look at the hashtags she's using and you want to use them on yours. And then you want to look at the kinds of posts that she's doing. I'm not saying to copy her, but what she's doing is working. How can you reinvent or reimagine her posts through your life, your lens? I like to leverage personal story, sell, facts tell, and check out my LinkedIn. You'll see I'll share difficult times I had. I'll share what it's like to be a single parent. I'll share sales tips. I'll share all different types of stories, but real life stories. I'm authentic. I'm the real me. You get what you get, right? So be the real you, that real version of you. Show up consistently. Leverage hashtags that are speaking to the audience you want to speak to. Health tips, growth hacks, right? Start testing and trying. Data doesn't lie. I use software called Shield on LinkedIn, and it gives me all the data of what's working, what's performing, what's not performing. There is a science and an art to social media. Make sure to access both. And there's no such thing as a wrong or a bad post. I have posts that don't do well all the time. That's information to tell me that topic didn't resonate with my audience. That hashtag I used didn't reach a large enough audience, whatever it may be, but start being open to learning from it. That's how we grow, and that's how we go to the next level. Yes, it took me 5 years to get to an audience and a community size that's 6 figures, but it doesn't mean it needs to take you a few years. It might take you a few posts. I actually worked with a woman last year who was new to LinkedIn. She was selling a coffee product. So again, something around health, giving people energy, performance bundle, hello, your people. She was trying to make the world a better and healthier place. She had never been on LinkedIn. She showed up on LinkedIn for 6 months. 2 posts went viral. The majority of her business is now coming from LinkedIn. She's recruiting people to her team from LinkedIn by sharing stories of how she's a single mother and how this product is paying for her bills while doing good in the world. Why not you? Just because it took me 5 years doesn't mean it needs to take you 5 years. Start seeing what's possible. Start focusing on that snow. Start focusing on you going to that next level, and start realizing 2021 was a huge year for you and for LifeWave. And that means you've built momentum. That means people are starting to hear about the greatness of how you can change the world and make the world a healthier and better place. And also remember, there are billions of people in the world, so our opportunities are limitless if we're willing to believe that's possible for us. And I'm going to leave you with this. We can always go one-to-one. We can speak directly to an individual, and that's an amazing time to tell a story and connect and listen and learn about people's whys and really understand what drives and motivates them so that we can help them. We can talk to them about the hope for 2022 when they begin using the performance bundle and the LifeWave products. We can start sharing the testimonials from our clients. We can put them in touch with some of our raving fans. We can do all of these things. But we can also go one-to-many. We can identify a radio host that you listen to all the time, that has chronic inflammation. So you send the patches to him with a note. I'm giving these to you because I know you're in pain and this is going to change your year. And maybe you get the phone call back. Maybe you follow back up. Maybe you stop by the radio station just to see how he's doing and check on him. And he says, I'm giving you a shout out. This is an amazing product. I want to do a testimonial for you. Maybe you look at a gym that's franchised in your area. You find out who the owner is and you see him somewhere and you walk up to him and say, I've got something I really think is going to add value to your clientele. Can we just talk for a couple of minutes about how I can help your team members and your clients lose a little bit more weight without working harder while they're in your gym? Start thinking differently. Start thinking about the possibility and start thinking about one-to-many and how you can reach more people. The more people in 2022 who are healthy, who have less inflammation, who are feeling better and feeling hopeful and sleeping, the more amazing this world is going to be. And who doesn't want a better, more amazing place for all of us in 2022? I'm counting on you to make it happen. And I'm riding with you in that journey. LifeWave, until next time, I can't wait to see you. Choose to believe in 2022 that you can go to the next level. And I know that you will.